What is up, YouTube? Dark God here again with the first of my 32 daily review videos that I'm going to make, trying to log all the horror movies that I watch in October for the DVD October Horror Movie Challenge. The goal is to watch 100 horror movies, and this will be the videos I make each day to review what I watched the night before. Now, even though it's October Horror Challenge, it starts September 30th at dusk and runs until November 1st at dawn. So last night I was actually able to watch 3 horror movies. Before I get into it, though, also I plan on every day I plan on wearing a horror t-shirt for 31 days, obviously, of October, and then the 32nd day where I'll be reviewing the movies from the day before, obviously. This is the first. This is my Screamworks shirt. I got this as a gift. Obviously Freddy on the moon looking like the DreamWorks logo. I just thought it was a really cool shirt. It's actually one of my favorite shirts. I wear the shirt quite often, probably way too much, actually. So anyway, the movies last night, every day now, how this works is there's actually a lot of planning that goes into it. Say about 2-3 months worth of planning with all the members of DVD Talk. They all suggest movies for the movie of the day or the theme of the day, and then the guy who runs it, this guy by the name of Chad, it takes him months upon months. Even when he's done, he's still working on it, trying to set up for the following year, and it's duplicated all over the place. Reddit, one of the original members of DVD Talk went onto Reddit and did it on there. And I mean, everybody does some kind of horror movie marathon in October. That's not to say that, you know, it's an original idea, but the fact that this guy goes above and beyond and just, it has a checklist, the daily movies, the theme nights, just everything that goes into this is all encompassing. And this guy really goes out of his way to make this, get sponsors to actually award gifts and stuff for trivia and stuff. Really cool things. So check that out on DVD Talk. Even though it already started, you could hop in at any time. You know, watch what you want to watch and just hop in. I'm sure you guys, if you started already watching horror movies, you just backlog it. So anyway, last night, the first movie, crossover with another challenge in September. DVD Talk does their Criterion Challenge. So on the last day, they cross over with it. So last night's movie was actually Corridors of Blood, 1958 movie starring Boris Karloff and Christopher Lee. It's a good movie. At times it gets really boring. It reminds me of that TV show, The Nick, where it's kind of a medical procedure back in the 1800s, and you see how everything was back then. The actual premise of the movie is that it's before anesthesia, and that they're trying to come up with a way to make painless surgery, and nobody believes this guy that he could do it. And it does have horror elements where you have these 2 guys. One of them is played by Christopher Lee, who is actually has one of the coolest bad guy names I've ever heard, Resurrection Joe. I don't know why, I just like that. And it's weird seeing a young Christopher Lee. This movie came out before Frankenstein, before Dracula, before The Mummy. So actually seeing him, and then Boris Karloff, seeing him with no makeup, and he's actually acting. It's him, no prosthetics, no makeup. He's not a monster. He's a normal guy. He's actually, you know, pushing the story along and everything. He's actually, what you can consider to be the good guy. He does have problems. He does have like a little bit of a drug addiction problem, but he's a normal guy. He's not. It's different from Boris Karloff, and getting to see him act without the makeup is just something. You see that he actually has talent. You know, a lot of people think he's just this, you know, basic stunt double, you know, or a stunt man rather, in makeup. Like the modern day slashers, how they think Kane Hodder is just Jason, you know, just a stunt guy with the mask. You see that Boris Karloff actually could act. And all in all, it's a good movie. It's very slow though. When it does pick up, it has some good scenes. Resurrection Joe, like I said, is a cool character, and he's just so creepy. The way he's just one of those creepy guys. Like, if you knew him in life, you'd tell your kids, your loved ones, that's a creepy guy. You know, you'd stay away from him. Out of 10, I would give it 6 stars. Good first film. Like I said, a little slow. I was hoping for a little bit more, but it's a good first film. Second film I watched was Not of This Earth, 1957, directed by Roger Corman. I saw the remake first, which is weird, and the remake's not a good movie, but it's a fun movie. It's a movie that doesn't take itself serious. It's not trying to reinvent the horror sci-fi genre. It's cheaply made. It's Roger Corman, but of his cheap movies, it looks like it has the best production value. It's a good film. It's a short film. It's only about an hour and 4 minutes. So it works out. I mean, if you don't know the premise of it, it's an alien comes to this planet and he needs to feed off of humans basically, and people are starting to find out, through blood tests and everything, that this guy's here, and it's a weird movie, and I mean it's nothing groundbreaking. I actually prefer the remake, which is odd because other than The Thing, I usually do not prefer remakes over the originals, but something about the remake is just a little bit slicker. They go more into it. It's got a longer runtime, but they fluff it out more. I mean, the original is very straight through. This is the story, and this is how we're gonna do it. And I mean, it begins, middle, ends, and if you miss anything on the way, movie's over before you have a chance to realize it. It works though because there's nothing really to tell. But it's weird because when they had the remake and they fluff it out, it's like, well, it worked in the original if there was nothing extra to tell, but now they're telling extra, but it still works. All in all, it is a good movie. I mean, Roger Corman is so underrated. I mean, I know he makes a lot of cheap movies, but the careers and the legacies that he has started are just amazing, and the guy never gets enough credit. I mean, he's not the best director, but he might be the best eye for talent in all of film history. Another 6 out of 10 movie I would give it. Definitely rewatchable. Definitely a fun movie. I mean, check out the remake though. I do think the remake is better, and the remake has Tracy Lords after her porn career, and it's a fun watch. Third movie I watched was the worst of the night, but I think I had the most fun watching this movie. 1983's Microwave Massacre. Now, I mean, I've always, when I would go to rent VHS tapes, I would always see this cover for Microwave Massacre, but nobody ever wanted to rent it. My friends never wanted to rent it. My parents would never let me rent it. It always looked like a stupid film, they said. And that's why I wanted to rent it, because it's a Microwave Massacre. When I remember when we first got our microwave, and I'm thinking, we own a microwave now, and then Microwave Massacre will keep popping up in my head, thinking about that. So I finally got to watch it, first time viewing, 20 years, 30 years later. It's not a good movie. It's not well made, not well acted, but it's a really fun movie because it does not take itself serious at all, and it just throws whatever stupid little thing it can throw at you, and it doesn't care. And that's what's so good about it. I mean, it's not, like I said, it's not a good movie. Do not expect amazing acting. It does have one of the best sets of boobs in the history of films, though, in the opening scene. And that's when when you see that scene and how over-the-top ridiculous it is, that's what you're in store for. And you just eat your popcorn and watch a movie that does not take itself serious at all, and is just a fun watch. I mean, the deaths are mostly off scene. The acting is so subpar. It makes Troll 2 look like Citizen Kane of acting. It's just, there is nothing really good about this movie in its production value. But the fact that it is probably one of the most fun movies to watch, just like I said, just because of how stupid it is, how over the top it is, how it's insanely fun to watch. I still only give it a 5 out of 10, and that's just because the acting is bad. It's like they're just reading lines off of the script to each other. Like, I'm shocked that the scripts weren't in their hands when they were talking, because they're not acting, they're just talking. The blood is a little crappy. So some of the scenes with the prosthetics, like the feet and the hands cut off, are actually pretty good. But the cut off head that in one scene is so bad. But I think that they don't even care, that they're just like, hey, it's bad, but who cares, So check that out. I will be back tomorrow with a new shirt and more movie reviews. Tonight's movie of the day is actually, what is it? Let's Sleep. What is it? I don't know. It's Walking Dead at Manchester Morgue, I think it is. So I'll be back tomorrow with another video. I'll actually post another video later on today with my October horror block opening, plus a little extra package that I got. So